Are we on? Oh, let me sit in my booster seat. What's crack-a-lacking, y'all? Oh, shit. I'm bugging. Let me get the encoder on. Welcome to the Michael Jackson Show. We're about to be live on Track Talk Radio. We're recording live from a secret location. My co-hosts are not here tonight. Most of it is because I'm filming in kind of in a far location from where everybody's located at, but Bidar's still dealing with some family issues. Steph is tuned in, and she's probably at home, doing her thing, handling business. And then James is doing the same thing, man. He's, doing family stuff. So it's just me tonight. I think Cheese might join the show here in a little bit. Once she gets here, we'll have her comment on some of these topics that we're gonna do. I think the show has started. They should be listening to Dipset right now. Playing wild ass music today, just because I feel like it. What's today's date, man? It's February 11th. I hope some of you dusty ass people got your Valentine's Day stuff in order. Me, I don't really be doing all that. So if you got me something for Valentine's Day, go get your money back. Don't give me nothing. But if you have coupons to restaurants, I'll take all of those. So because it's February 11th and we're getting close to, well, I'm getting close to a week of vacation. I'm getting excited. I'm counting down the days because after Friday, I'm off work for a little over a week. So I'm going to do absolutely nothing. I'm going to keep it low key, work on the show, kick it, watch plenty of shows, listen to tons of different podcasts. So if you're watching this, send me some recommendations of some stuff that I should check out while I'm on my week of vacation doing absolutely nothing. I don't know, man. I've had days off, like holidays, Christmas, all that type of stuff, but this is just a break early in the year, which I feel like I need and that I deserve because I've had some real struggles lately. You heard me last week talking about the fact that several times last week I bit my tongue and the insides of my lips multiple times. I was very stressed out. There are tons of other things going on, but that to me felt like the worst thing. Was doing that. It was almost like, it was one of the worst pains I've ever felt in my entire life. So I had kind of a rough week, excuse me. My chain that I always wear broke while I was hooping on Sunday. That was devastating, but the best part about it was that I literally got a new chain that morning because I had one that had been ordered several weeks ago and it went to my old address. And so my old roommate showed up and he gave it to me. And then my other chain broke on my neck while I was giving out buckets to these bums that I hoop with. But it's okay. All hope is not lost. All I got to do is take it to a jewelry repair store because those things exist. We're going to get that handled. It is what it is. But it's been kind of a rough couple weeks. So a vacation is absolutely necessary for me. Now, I'm not going anywhere. I do have a little time scheduled to maybe jet down to Portland. I'm going to try to, if I can, try to cop me some fresh gear, tax-free, appreciated. Shout out to this, Oregon. They don't want the tax money. They're not greedy. But I'm going to try to make that happen. So that's the only thing I really have planned to do. Other than that, man, it's going to be a whole lot of nothing because I'm strictly a homebody. I think people think that I'm out and about doing all this wild stuff, but fam, that's not me. It's not how I get down. So we are about to get into this shit. Turn the mic on, bro. Let's see if it's working. Yeah. Yo, what's crack-a-lacking? It's your boy, Michael Jackson. Oh, you thought that I was rapping, but I was not. It's time to tap in, listen to my show, listen to what's happening. Ooh, I still got it, man. Thank you for tuning in, man. We're live on Track Talk Radio. I know the rapping that you just heard at the beginning was straight hot garbage. And that's why I do this instead of rap. I was a terrible rapper, but some of the most fun times I've ever had was writing raps that ended up being put on other people's beats that did not sound as good. I do like from time to time, I like to go back, listen and reflect on the fact that I was one of the worst rappers in the history of music. But I was better than a lot of people who are actually famous. So I'm somewhere between, like I'm better than most, if not everybody that's out now, but I'm not as good as Mace. Hot like that. So like I said, not very good, but better than a lot of people that's out now. So basically what I'm saying is most of the people that's out now, they're worse than Mace. So you take that how you want to take it. Yeah, I did have Diplomats playing at the beginning of the show. Shout out to anybody that's a Dipset fan. That's one of my favorite groups growing up as a kid. They had a short-lived career, but in the time that they actually were Dipset and they were full-fledged, they were taking over the streets in the early 2000s. So that was the time when rap was, I feel like it was at its peak. We had a lot of great rappers. New York rap was it was fire at that time. They had, everybody was blazing. Hot records every week. 106 in Park was still hot. Like it was lit back then. I think now the people think and the kids think that the stuff they have now is so great, but I'm telling you, it's just average. It's not that good. Some of you are, I'm telling you, some of you are being let down because you think the music that's coming out now is so good, and it's not all that great compared to what we used to listen to coming up. But that's just my opinion. I'm not really here to judge. Y'all do what y'all want to do. Listen to what you want to listen to. I mean, you hear the stuff that I be playing on the show. It ain't for everybody, but it's what I like, and it is what it is, man. So the next song that we're going to have playing is Cassidy, Hotel Remix with R. Kelly and Trina. I mean, that's what I got playing, and after that, we got some Rihanna, and there might be some New Edition played tonight, some Usher, some Rick Ross. I mean, Nappy Roots is getting played. Fucking Music Soul Child. Like, I just got all kinds of different people on here. So, yeah, shout out to Steph. Steph is listening, tuned in. Shout out to my dope manager that's helping us, get this thing crack-a-lacking. And shout out to anybody who is a Twitch streamer. We are not streaming live on Twitch at the moment, but hopefully this Thursday show or our shows next week will be streaming live on Twitch. We are new to the Twitch game. I have been welcomed with open arms. Mainly they just let us sign up for an account like everybody else. So appreciate my man Just Jeff for putting me on to the idea of Twitch streaming, and shout out to Steph obviously because she had said that we needed to do this idea like the first couple of weeks that the show started. And I ain't gonna lie, because I don't know nothing about live streaming. I didn't want to do none of that. But the way it's been explained to me, with the moves that we're trying to make, I think that's just gonna be hella fun. So again, shout out to Jeff for giving me this idea to do the Twitch thing, and shout out to all the Twitch streamers that have been reaching out to me today, because I started using different hashtags and using the promos for the show that I always post up, and we had a lot of people reaching out. So man, we're gonna get some new fans for the show, make some streaming friends, and then we're all gonna be one big happy family. Or y'all gonna hate this shit, and I'm still not gonna care, because we're still gonna be live on Track Talk Radio every Tuesday and Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Is lit. So we got a jam-packed show for y'all today. And I think the first thing I'm going to get into is, and I know this is like, we're like a couple of weeks removed from the Super Bowl, but I saw this story where there's this white dude, and I guess his name is Pastor Dave. And Dave is thinking about suing the NFL because of how J-Lo and Shakira were shaking their asses at the halftime show. I didn't care nothing about what Dave was talking about, so I didn't really listen to him. I just wanted to hear the number that he was seeking in damages. Because my man is filing a suit for damages, y'all. Meaning that he watched the halftime show. He got embarrassed in front of his wife because his dick got hard. And then he decided, in order to play it off like it wasn't him and that they forced it upon him, he wanted to now try to sue the NFL. Again, this is just stuff that comes up in the minds of those type of people. Y'all know who I'm talking about. But my thing with Dave is I didn't want to hear nothing he was talking about. But I'm under the assumption that he was feeling some type of way because asses were shaking, people were half naked, and then maybe there were children watching because kids watch the Super Bowl too. We forget about that, but there's a lot of kids who watch football. And it is what it is. They watch the halftime show too. Sometimes stuff happens. I mean, damn, Janet Jackson had a titty out one year. And where Pastor Dave wasn't trying to collect damages then, probably they had a whole titty out, okay? Dave, all that was happening was J-Lo and Shakira, aka Shaylo. Shaylo was just doing what they do, man. They're Latina women. They're spicy, my friend. They like to dance. They like to move. Things shake. Things are thick. They bounce. It is what it is. Dave, if you couldn't handle it, and if your wife has some type of problem with you finally getting your first boner in 16 weeks, fam, you got to take that up with her. You can't sue the NFL. Let me tell y'all what the number is, though. Because that was what was key to me. Is I wanted to know what the number was that he was seeking. Because, again, fam is seeking damages. Now, if any of you know anything about lawsuits, or if you're like me that don't know a lot about them, but know enough to know that a lawsuit is kind of a waste of time, because in reality, you're probably not going to make the money that you're hoping for. You're going to end up just making, a little something. You probably end up paying more money out than you would actually make. Now, why am I not finding it? Because I know I saved it. I want to say he said the number was like 88 trillion. Now, I don't think he actually filed the suit. I feel like if he did that, that'd be real stupid. But I want to say the number that he has said was about $88 trillion. So fam was seeking damages in an amount close to or above $1 trillion. Because I said he wanted 88 of those. And again, I mean, I hate to say it, but that just sounds like some shit that really corny ass white people do. They're bored as hell. Jobs are probably meaningless. They're in a whack ass marriage, and they get bored. And then when people get bored, they like to take on new challenges. And then some people, they like to sue people, or they don't even like to sue people. They like to sue big businesses. Like, you really think the NFL is gonna like cut you a check for 88 trillion all because you feel some type of way about the Super Bowl, my guy? Nah. You know what they're probably gonna do though? They're probably going to say, Dave, you know what, for your troubles, we're going to invite you out. We're going to give you 2 tickets to next year's Super Bowl. You'll get to go backstage and you'll have VIP access and you'll get to meet whoever is playing in that game, blah, 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 blah. They're going to give Dave the experience of a lifetime because that's what the NFL does when people do stuff like this. Now, I'm going to give you guys some advice. This is free game. You're not going to be able to probably go to the Super Bowl. I don't think what I'm about to tell you works for shit like that. But if you're ever looking to maybe get a free month on a cable bill, cell phone bill, or like some free coupons for food, all you got to do is go on Twitter and at these people and you complain, and their customer service department will reach out to you within seconds. No one wants to deal with a complaint. Now, like I said, you're not going to get $88 trillion from the NFL, but I guarantee you can probably get some free pizza off of somebody if you file a complaint via Twitter. And like I said, their customer service department will reach out to you promptly. And then, like I said, you'll probably get some free coupons. Or you never know, man. Like, I've seen some people get, like a year free worth of shit from somebody because they just were on their online complaining. So I don't know, maybe Dave's a hero. Maybe, maybe he knew he's not going to get 88 trillion and he's really just trying to finesse free tickets for the Super Bowl. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stay updated on this because I want to know if Dave ended up going to the Super Bowl next year for free just because he was complaining about Shaylo shaking ass. And again, Shaylo is Shakira and J-Lo put together. I didn't mess that up. I know I'm a little bit slow sometimes, but I'm not a damn dummy, all right? Don't get it twisted. I didn't go full, you know what I'm talking about. You've seen Tropic Thunder, you know what I'm talking about. I didn't go that, all right? But I am a little bit slow. So anyway, if Dave end up going to the Super Bowl, then we're going to have to talk about that on the show. And I want to try to get him to come on our show so we can revisit him crying about J-Lo shaking ass on national television. And that's all the time we have for Janky Ass Pastor Dave. Dave, I hope you get something out of this. But if you get free Super Bowl tickets, I'm going to be mad as shit. Because I feel like I've complained to the NFL before, and they didn't hear my cries. I don't know. Maybe some of my circumstances should be different. We'll just leave it at that. Anyway, man, on to our next little story. So, obviously, I could not wait to get to today, because then today I would have an opportunity, and I assure you, because I know what people are going to say. They're going to see this, and they're going to say, oh, well, you're trying to degrade and tear down the black woman, and that. No. All I'm going to say is this about Oprah and Gayle King. And I'm saying this directly to Oprah. Oprah, you've been in the entertainment industry for a large part of your life. Gayle has been in the entertainment industry for a large part of her life. You know what the potential consequences are when you say shit that's out of pocket. So all this going on TV and pretending like y'all are all sad and that you're sad for Gayle, and Oprah got on TV and was doing that fake ass crying shit on whatever show she's on, talking about, oh my God, Gayle's getting death threats, and oh my God. And Oprah, I'm not trying to hear that shit, okay? I don't want to hear it, because y'all know better. Y'all know exactly what you're doing when you say these, when you make these comments, and you make these videos, and you set up these interviews, and you try to get these people caught up. You know exactly what you're doing. Now, I'm not going to go as far as most people and jump out the window and say that they're going out of their way to purposely tear down black men. I can't say that because I don't give a fuck enough about Oprah or Gayle King to want to do the research to see if that's what they do to people. The only thing I didn't like, and I always say this, is I don't like when people come with fake ass apologies after they knowingly do something stupid and then they get dragged for it on the internet. Because after they get dragged, they come back with the, well, I just didn't mean to do it, and it wasn't me, and it was my team, and you know, I mean, I would never, I had a relationship with Kobe. We were friendly that one time when I saw him at that one party. I would never degrade Kobe like that. Lady, you knew what you were doing. And Oprah, you know Gayle knows what she's doing. This is her job. Now, we obviously know that people are going to want to, hash out the past, and they're going to want to bring up things about him. I don't think anyone really has an issue with that. It's just the fact that you tried to set Lisa up to get her to go against her friend. That's corny shit. Don't allow her to hang herself. Don't try to orchestrate that shit. And like I said, Oprah, you going on a TV show and doing all that fake ass crying that you was doing, and trying to be like, well, you know what? I'm Oprah, and if I go on TV and I shed some tears, everybody will feel bad for Gayle, and then we can resurrect Gayle's career. Fam, listen. Real MF's not feeling bad for either of y'all. Gayle, you should have went on the camera, and when you did your little video, you should have just been like, yo, I just fucked this up. All right, if we're being honest, that's my mistake. I messed up. And we probably been like, you know what, Gayle? It's cool, bro. We appreciate it. Don't disrespect Kobe again. And we would have left it at that. But when you try to play it off like, oh, I didn't do anything. It was my team who did this. I didn't do this. Nah, when you do that and then you have one of your homegirls go on there and do all, like I said, bro, when I seen that corny ass crying shit, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, this is somebody that people try to swear up and down is like this is who y'all want to represent us. Come on, man. doing all that fake crime. That shit not real to me, bro. I'm not trying to hear that. And that's not me trying to tear her down as a black woman. There's pure evidence, and we see other black women who I feel are making bigger strides and a bigger impact currently than what Oprah's doing. Not to say that Oprah hasn't in the past. We're not diminishing any of her past accolades or anything she's done. But I'm saying this past week, I've seen other people making more of a positive impact than what Oprah's doing. Oprah's on that corny bullshit. Now, she's a human like everybody else, so I get it. The only reason I'm not giving her a pass is because she understands being in this business for so long that if you say the wrong thing, you don't get no free passes. And especially now in the time of the internet, you're going to get dragged. Gayle got what she deserved. She had that shit coming. But anyway, again, this was not my attempt to drag or degrade or put down black women. Listen, I know plenty of strong, amazing black women. We plan to have some of them on the show. One of them has a story for you, and I don't even want to start telling pieces of it because I'm afraid I'm going to screw it up. But I'm in a conversation with one of my favorite queens, and she's telling me about how she's in a class, one of her classes that she takes. They had a white girl in her class write a paper on why it should be okay for people to say the N-word. And so there's a part of me that loves this because I know my friend. So I know what's about to happen to this girl in her class and all the rest of the people, and the teacher included. They're all about to get taken to school. And I love that because she loves her people. She stands up, she rides for what she believes in, and she's preaching and promoting these good morals. It's the same stuff that we've seen Oprah do. We've seen Gayle do that shit. So it ain't no disrespect. I think the two of them just need to remember where they came from. Because like I said, I see other people around me who are really like doing their part to educate people and not tear down their brothers and their men, their husbands, their, boyfriends, whatever, your black men. So if we're going to have these people out here saying that this is who they ride for, this is who they represent, they're so proud to be, then we don't want to see them on interviews trying to throw shade at people, especially in death. That's the worst time. You think Vanessa want to see you like trying to shade her husband? Because you also got to think, it ain't Kobe who just has to relive that nightmare. It's the girl who, raised the concerns and put the allegations against Kobe. It's that young lady. It's Vanessa. It's her children. So you not only, you have three girls who are mourning the loss of their sister and their father, and then you have a young woman who's mourning the loss of her husband and the person that she parents with. And then on top of that, if you're those people, you have to watch other people like Gayle King and all these different random media outlets and all this try to shit on your husband over a case that happened 16 years ago. Nobody want to deal with that. So like I said, my intent is not to tear down Oprah or Gayle King. I just think they're being corny. They got to get their shit together. Get back to the people that they know that they are and that they once were. Now, like I said, a lot of people will disagree with what I'm saying, and you'll probably think that I'm corny for saying all the shit that I said. But again, this is my show, so I don't give a shit what y'all think. Because all this is just my opinion. It don't really matter. I don't know Oprah, I don't know Gayle. But even if I did, I would tell them this shit if they were sitting in here. What y'all did was wrong. I don't want to hear Oprah, one of the strongest people, especially in regards to black women and women in general. You're one of the strongest people that we all know. It's well documented. And you're good with your business. You do a lot of, philanthropy stuff. Like, you're supposed to be top notch. And then, like, batting for somebody that was on that corny shit and you doing all that fake crying, that was weak to me, bro. So, like I said, it ain't shade. It's truth. It's facts. Like, I'm at least on my end, I feel like it's facts. What I think you did was corny. That's it. So we're going to move off that, but we're going to kind of stay on the topic of Kobe Bryant because I did a story last week where we talked about this high school principal. I still can't pronounce this place. Somewhere in Washington. Camas, Washington, Camas. I don't know, however you pronounce it. Steph, tell me what that shit is. But we brought the story up about how she had sent out like a tweet or a Facebook post kind of implying that Kobe Bryant deserved to die in a helicopter crash. And then good news is that as of, and I think this was like the other day, she resigned. So, corny ass white lady, get out of here. Anyway, we're not gonna give any real time to her. Listen, lady, you did what you did because you're garbage, and you were in your feelings, and I get it. But you should have known better. If you wanted to leave a comment like that, you should have had a burner account like the rest of us. Anyway, she's out of there. She quit her job or resigned, whatever you want to call it. AKA, they probably gave her a choice. Like, listen, lady, you can either quit or get fired. The choice is yours. That's usually what they do for people when they make these types of mistakes. But anyway, I think obviously you see how the internet works. When people start complaining about that, it's just you applying pressure, and then you're forcing people into a corner. So remember that whenever you're trying to get free cable bills from Comcast, go on the internet, apply some pressure. Anyway, so I gave a shout out to my man, Just Jeff. It's a good homie of mine. Last week, him and I were in a conversation. He was talking about one of his friends, and I don't know the young man's name. I'm not going to blast him too much, but I want to talk about what my man did to go on a first date with this girl that he met. Excuse me. So, when we come back from break, I'm going to jump into this little story. You're not going to get every single detail, but you're going to get some of the details. And we are going to talk about this young man because as of today, I got the follow-up update. So we have the entire story. There won't be any, left in suspense having to wait until Thursday. We have the full story, at least what I know of it. So we're going to talk about that when we get back because I'm still kind of laughing at my guy. And then especially now after knowing what the outcome was, like, fam, we tried to tell you it wasn't worth it. But anyway, when we come back from this short break, man, we're going to jump into these other stories. What we got coming up? We got my man going on his first date, and then I saw a preview for a basketball movie where Ben Affleck is the coach. So I'm going to tell you what I think about that. Netflix is dropping a new docu-series called Who Killed Malcolm X, so we will touch on that. We got a story about a 4-year-old. We have a story about a 4-year-old who unfortunately ends up passing away, and they're trying to say it's because the mother ignored the advice of a doctor and opted to not get a flu vaccination. So we are going to jump into that, and I think by that time we will have a guest on the show. Well, it'll be Cheese, and Cheese works in healthcare. So she can kind of like speak to this a little bit. Basically what I'm saying, she's much more informed than I am. So we'll jump into that. And then we'll have some more. Yo, I actually got a lot of stuff on here, man. You know what, man? Just stay tuned, man. Here's the music, man. This is the Michael Jackson Show. We're live on Track Talk Radio, man. It's lit. Get money. Yo, we got a lot of stuff on here today. Yeah, I'm glad that lady resigned from her job. And not even just because you were disrespecting Kobe. You disrespected Gigi and all the rest of the other victims because when it wasn't like Kobe was flying the helicopter up there by himself. So like making comments about the death and all this and that, you disrespecting those other people too. It's not just him. I do feel bad for her to some degree because you end up having to lose your job behind a stupid comment. That's very unfortunate. You hate for that to happen anyway. That's why I say, like, if you really feel like you're somebody who likes to comment on things and you have a lot of stuff to say, get involved with a platform that can allow you to have that space, or create one. Get a radio show or something. I don't know. Do something. But also take your actual name off the shit. You know what I'm saying? Because you got busted because you're a high school principal making comments about a celebrity's death. That's not a smart choice. you know no one's gonna care if you go R.I.P. We're so sad. But the second you say something negative, then you're gonna have people at your school questioning your entire worth as an education official or educate, whatever you were referred to. There's many different terms that you can use, but like people are gonna question that shit because they're like, how can we trust you if like this is what you're doing? And I get it. They probably would question me too to see my show. They'd be like, yo, my man is wilding, But like I said, this is a space for the type of stuff that we talk about, for the comments that we make. It's a platform. And so we're using it for that purpose. Like, I'm not just going on my Twitter at 1:30 in the morning and saying wild shit and then just dipping out and then trying to come back and be like, oh, well, I didn't really mean it, but then like I kind of did. Like I said, all that type of shit is hella corny. Can't do that. So we're glad that she's out of there, man. Let's see. Again, man, it's February 11th. Man, we are flying through. I can't wait for it to be March. We have some big things on the horizon. Hopefully sometime in March, we will have a permanent place to record the show every single week. We probably will most likely be in the greater Seattle area, which that doesn't narrow it down whatsoever because the greater Seattle area is, it could be anywhere. I could be in Kent, I could be in Redmond, I could be in Linwood, Shoreline, Seattle, where at West Seattle, I could be all over the damn place. So, oh snap. We got some hoops on, cuz. But yeah, we're going to have a semi-permanent. I say that because, we're also trying to look into potentially getting some studio time to do this. And if that ends up being a better option, than the other place that I find, then we'll probably do that. Or we'll do both. Who knows? I think it's cool to switch it up every now and again. And, if we have guests on the show, they might feel more comfortable. Ooh, excuse me, I'm feeling gassy. They might feel more comfortable coming to a studio rather than like, maybe coming to a house or like, this warehouse that I might get, some spooky ass warehouse where I'm also maybe going to start my own haunted house business. I don't know, man. We're just trying to find multiple streams of income. That just sounds like a good idea. A year-round haunted house, I feel like that could make a killing. Don't steal my idea, all right? You heard it here first. Legally, if I see somebody who's following my shit all of a sudden open up a year-round haunted house type of business, I'm gonna be upset and I'm gonna have my lawyers reach out to y'all. Play with me if you want to. Anyway, oh my God. I'm watching Boston versus Houston. Kemba Walker just took an awful fall. Looked like somebody just fell on his neck. I don't think he's severely hurt. He's just a little bit hurt. Anyway. Camus. Okay, so that's what it is. Steph said is Camus. Do not talk like that ever the F again. I don't know what Steph is talking about. She probably giving me a hard time because I was doing that little Oprah, when I was making fun of Oprah and Gayle, I was doing a little voice. But you know what? I do what I want, man. Anyway, I'm not sure what we're going to be doing on Thursday's show. It might just be me again, or we might have the whole crew involved. I'm hoping for a whole crew type of episode. But in the next couple of weeks, we will have a couple of guests. We have some feelers out to about 3 different people, and we might try to have at least 2 of them on potentially next week. So on Thursday's show, I'm hoping to announce that. So stay tuned for that because that could be pretty cool. Also, if you guys have any type of topics, or I don't want to say ideas for the show because I feel like everybody is every day trying to tell me ideas. And it's not to say that I don't care that your ideas aren't good. But I feel like a lot of stuff that people are suggesting to me is it's like stuff on how to like make me look like another nigga. And I appreciate that because I know to some degree, you have to have a certain type of appeal in order to reach an audience and so on and so forth. But I'm not in this just to try to be famous. So I'm not going to kind of like sell myself out and then start trying to like look like or be like somebody else in order just to get on. That don't seem worth it to me. But like I said, if you have like subjects that you would like to talk about, or like, when we do our conspiracy theory hour, like if you've heard some good ones and, you want to hear us talk about it on the show, man, comment, like, subscribe, share with your friends, like leave feedback, reach out to the email address. You can email us at meancooljackson@gmail.com, or we have meancooljackson.management@gmail.com. So if you're trying to be a guest on the show, you can reach out to Steph, and then Steph can let you know what our availability is, and then maybe if we can book you. And if you got something to talk about, then maybe we can have you on the show, man. It'll be lit. So, like I said, we're all here for, positive feedback. I mean, any feedback, really. I like to hate, too. Because sometimes, even when people be hating, sometimes I'll be like, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that shit was whack. Like, I don't always disagree. I might say you're garbage for the way you, kind of approach me. But sometimes some of y'all are right. Maybe the stuff ain't all that great. Or maybe we have one episode that's off. But, it is what it is. If you ain't got haters, you probably ain't got shit. So, I'm doing all right now because I have been receiving a lot of hate, and I like that because it lets me know that I'm doing my job. So, we are lit. You're watching this on the YouTube channel. Like I said, like, subscribe, share with your friends. Tell everybody you know about Memecool Jackson, man. The king of memes. If you go look at my Instagram, you will see why. That thing has about 25,000 posts. About 22 or 23,000 of that is memes. And then there's pictures of me on haircut day. But I don't really put those on there anymore. Because now my shit looks like this. So I don't really be getting haircut. I just be getting faded up and get the line up, But hey, it's hard when you're trying to look like $1 million every single day, Sometimes I be looking like $250,000, but I ain't trying to be anything less than that. So anyway, we're about to dive back into the show. We got less than a minute. You know what, man? I think we're about to have Steph call in. I forgot I was supposed to call her. You probably won't even be able to hear it, but we're gonna get some audio.
Hello?
Steph, what's cracking?
Hey.
Yo, we just on a quick break. I'm about to turn the music off in here in a second, and then we're going to have Cheese come in and be on the show. But I was just telling the people who are watching on the YouTube channel that I was supposed to call you, and I forgot to do so. So, welcome to the show. Steph's on here laughing. She's not upset because she's good people, but also she can't be upset because I do what I want. She already knows that. No disrespect. I'm wilding. Oh, snap. Hold up. Yo, let me stop that, man. Before we get into that new edition that's about to start playing, I want to welcome you back to the Memecool Jackson show. You can't really hear it because I ain't gonna say we having technical difficulties. I just don't know how to get, like I do know, but I haven't been able to somehow get it to work to where we can have somebody call in. But I do have Steph here on the phone, and she's, we're yapping and cracking jokes. And then I got Cheese is going to join us shortly. So we'll have a guest to talk about. There's a story that involves flu vaccines. And so I figured, why not have somebody on tonight who works in the medical field who can kind of give me, a novice when it comes to the flu vaccine, give me a little bit of advice, feedback, and some background information on why or why not this is something that you should or shouldn't have. So, like I said, I don't know a ton about the flu vaccine, but we are going to talk about that. Sorry if you guys couldn't hear me. I think the mic was not on. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, we're tuned in live. All right, there we go. We're having some technical difficulties. My fault. I think sometimes you have to hold the button down to get the mic to come on. I've just been pressing it. So anyway, we got Steph on the phone. We're going to have Cheese join us shortly. We are going to talk about a story where a 4-year-old unfortunately has lost their life, and they're saying that it's because the mom opted to not get the child flu vaccination. So we're going to have somebody on who works in the medical field, and they're going to give me Like I said, a person who knows nothing about the flu vaccine. Well, I mean, I know stuff, but I only know what people argue about. And everybody that I know who talks about it does not work in the medical field. So it's just niggas that I know arguing. So we're going to have somebody on who actually works in the field and can kind of give us some advice. No, not a doctor, not a nurse. So I'm not saying this person is an expert, but with everybody in this room, that person is the expert, and there's only going to be two of us in here. So tonight, my Meanquil Jackson medical expert for our show is going to be Cheese tonight. Hopefully, she'll give us some decent information, because now I'm questioning if maybe I should get me a flu shot, because last month I was very sick. I'm gonna say it, man. I was almost dead, and I revived myself through the help of NyQuil, Dayquil, lots of Ricolas, the cough drops. And then I ended up getting a humidifier, and that kind of saved. So maybe it wasn't me who saved me, and maybe it was the stuff I got. But either way, I was near death, and I wondered that entire time I was laid up in the bed if maybe I should have got a flu shot. So we are going to get into that soon. Steph, you got a flu shot?
I did not.
Steph didn't get a flu shot. So if something happened to her and it's flu related, then you know why. Because she opted not to get the shot. But
every time I get the shot, I end up getting the flu.
So Steph's saying every time she gets the shot, she ends up getting the flu.
Yeah, so it don't work for me.
Well, that's unfortunate. Because according to most of the internet, the flu shot is good for you. I don't know. I don't know a lot about that. So we'll get into that. But anyway, back to these other things. So we're going to talk about my man Jeff, just Jeff. Shout out to him, Twitch streamer extraordinaire. This is my guy, Jeff, straight from New York. He wears his Timbs like every other day. Fam's ready to stomp people out at a moment's notice, only in the Timbs though. Jeff's a funny guy, but he was telling me the other day where he's saying he had a homeboy of his who was wanting to borrow his car so he could take a girl on a date. Now, he's not borrowing the car because he doesn't have a car. It's because he felt like his car was not as cool as my man's car. So Jeff drives a Hyundai Genesis, which is, it's like their fancy race car line. And I get it because I drive a little Hyundai Veloster, which is like the little shitty ass cousin to the Genesis, Jeff's car is dope, I get it. So his man wants to use it to take this girl on a date. So he goes, he gasses the car up, washes the car, vacuums it out, gets it all ready. We hear that my man, this is a first date. We hear that my man is planning to wear a tuxedo on the date. I did confirm today that he did wear the tux on the date. So, leading up to the actual date, we're talking to him, kind of, getting some jokes in, but he's talking about how much he likes the girl and, how he wants to impress her and this and that, da-da-da. Come to find out, at the end of the day, he said he didn't even like her that much. I'm like, how you go from wanting to show out to where you borrowed your man's car, you wore a tux on the date, and then by the end of the day, you were just like, nah, I'm not with it. That's crazy to me. And I'm also still bugged out by the fact that he wore a tuxedo on a first date. Now, one of the things I asked Jeff, and I said, Jeff, how old is your man? And he goes, oh, he's 25. And so that kind of threw me off, because at first, when you hear it, you're not thinking of, obviously, their circumstances, but you're not thinking of none of that, because you just hear, at age 25, a nigga should know better than to wear a tuxedo on a first date. So if there's anybody listening to this show right now, because it is, I don't know, it's not, I don't want to say it's not dating season, because I think right now people are, you're taking the week off because of what Friday represents. But after Friday, people are going to dive in and they're going to get back into the relationship thing. I'm telling you guys, fellas, if you're going on a first date, please do not show up in a tuxedo. That's corny. You're corny. You're definitely not smashing in the tuxedo. And also, be proud of what you have. I get it if you don't have a car and you need to borrow somebody's car, but don't borrow somebody's car or your friend's car because you feel that their car is way nicer than your car and you're just doing it to impress the girl. Because at some point, she still has to see your car. You're not going to be able to borrow your homeboy's car every single fucking day. That's not how that shit goes. Now, I've been there, fam. And I you know what? After being somebody when in my younger days who actually did try to date even when he was damn near homeless, I'm recommending to all young men that if you are in a state where if you still can fit all of your belongings in a trash bag, you shouldn't date. If you don't really have a car and you have a hard time getting around, maybe you shouldn't date. If you have to tell the girl on the date, hey, baby, just order a water, you shouldn't date. And that's okay. Wait till you get up on your feet, and get a few dollars in your pocket, and that way you can go on the date and you're not stressed out about the financial restraints you put yourself in by agreeing to take a girl out on a date and pretending like you can give her the world when you barely can give her a chicken sandwich. Remember, fam, you still probably have bills to pay. And you still got to find a way to get to work the next morning. And the bus does cost money. So don't kill yourself trying to find romance and by trying to, overspend or do things that are outside of your means. Take it from somebody who's been there before. It's not worth it. And if a girl doesn't like you for who you are and what you currently already have, I feel like as long as you're trying and you're putting an effort to upgrade yourself, most respectable women will see that potential in you. They'll understand that and they'll still want to fuck with you. But if you feel like you got to go all out just to get the attention of some girl, fam, I'm telling you, it probably isn't worth it, especially if you're already starting off by lying. I don't know if he told old girl that the car wasn't his. I hope for his sake that he did. And maybe because he is a respectable dude, I can imagine he probably didn't try to play it like he was, he's not like a rapper in a video pretending like he's got a house and cars and jewels and all that type of shit. He's a respectable dude, so I think he probably did the right thing. But I still was bugged out that my man showed up in a tuxedo on the first date and then ended up not even liking the girl. My nigga, you ended up wasting your own time. And then shout out to my man Jeff for getting a free car wash. And I think he got the car gassed up. Like you get the free car wash, you get your car detailed and gassed up. Also, your man can use it to go on a date to show out, and then he ended up basically only impressing himself. So, it's an interesting time to be alive, knowing that people are still wearing tuxedos on first dates. I honestly, when I heard that, I couldn't believe it. Steph, what do you think about that? What would you do if a man showed up in a tuxedo?
I would run.
Why would you run though?
I'm just joking, but where was the location? Where was their date?
Nowhere that a nigga needs a tuxedo. It's not tuxedo season, fam. Like,
Look, maybe them like at a benefit or something.
No, God, no. Who's taking somebody to a benefit on the first date?
I don't know. Who's wearing a tuxedo?
Yo, my man did. He's wilding. Shout out to him though. Shout out to him. Like I said, shout out to Just Jeff. Jeff's a fan of the show. Jeff did give me permission to tell this story, so if his man watches this and gets mad, don't be mad at me, be mad at Jeff.
I think it's sad, though, that he felt like he had to do all that to get the girl to like him. Like, he should be able to just be himself, and, you don't want somebody to like you because of your car or because of how you dress or material things.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not going to work out.
Yeah, I won't, I don't know. I totally agree with what you're saying because I think the exact same thing. I don't feel like you should have to do all that to impress, but I would be interested to hear from him, like what his thought process was leading up to that and what about her made him feel like these were all the things he needed to do in order for his first date to be successful.
Yeah. And if he knew, because if he didn't like her after the date, then he must not have known her that well, beforehand. Maybe it was just a physical thing.
Yeah, it probably could have been because that's kind of what I was thinking too. Like along the lines of like, why immediately after the date is over are you already like, nah, I'm good. Like I'm off this. I'm not trying to do this. Like something you must not have like paid full attention to what you were getting involved in. Or maybe their conversations weren't as in depth as maybe what they should have been. I don't know, but I mean, I don't know. He is a young man. He's younger than me. Sometimes when we're in our younger days, we're trying to talk to girls sometimes strictly based off the look. But you got to take these L's when you're young. You take them now, so maybe you don't have to take them later. Um, but yeah, we'll see. But it's still weird. My man wore a tux on the first date.
Very weird.
All right, so I saw this preview, and I don't remember what the movie is called. Let me see if I wrote it down. No, I didn't, because when I first saw the preview, I wasn't disgusted. I'm not going to say that. I'm having a hard time taking Ben Affleck serious as a high school basketball coach. There's something about Ben Affleck that's not jumping out to me as like, yo, this is the guy I see leading young guys out of the locker room onto the court to win the 4A state championship and potentially go to national. Like I'm not seeing that out of him. So there's a preview of him where he's a high school basketball coach, and it's a rated R movie. So this ain't gonna be like Coach Carter. So I'm kind of want to see it, but then I'm unsure if I want to give Ben Affleck my $6 or $7 because I'm only going on to matinees. Steph, what do you think? You going to see this Ben Affleck movie?
No, I'm good. It's called The Way Back, by the way.
Yeah, okay, so it's called The Way Back. And if I do go see it, I'm going to be way in the back because I don't want people to know that I'm there and that I gave Ben this money. Because if this movie end up being bad, Ben, it might be over for you, fam. We might have to, I ain't going to say you got to call it quits as an actor, but we got to find somebody else that can find you the roles that you are built for. I think high school basketball coach ain't the move for you, my guy. I don't know, man. I'm just not seeing it. Like I didn't see Samuel L. Jackson as Coach Carter. Like I hate that movie. I love the real story, and I love that there was a guy who did that and he gave everything he could to his players and he helped them grow up to be great men. But that movie specifically, I hate that shit. Hate it. Steph, you ever seen Coach Carter?
I did.
Yeah. What do you think about Coach Carter? You like that movie?
Honestly, I don't remember.
Yeah. And that's my exact point. You don't remember the movie because it's not that damn good. Anyway, let me stop before Samuel L. try to come for me. But if any of you Coach Carter fans, I'm sorry if I broke your heart or disrespected your favorite childhood movie, but that movie's not good. All right? I'm keeping it real with you. It's not a good movie. Anyway, what is our next story? So we got Netflix has a docu-series coming out called Who Killed Malcolm X? And what they're saying is it could be something that ends up reopening his case. So it could turn out to be similar to, you remember my man Steve Avery, the guy who's in prison, and I guess they say he killed the girl, but maybe he really didn't. It's kind of like that. And then they, that when they dropped that documentary, then all these people started like watching and doing these things. Cheese, welcome to the show. We're talking about Netflix and they're starting up a Malcolm X documentary. So they're saying that it could reopen his assassination case. I'm very interested to see what happens with that, especially in our current political climate. I don't know how people are going to feel about Netflix being like the foundation for reopening a case on a person who openly defied the government, and for good reason. But with the people who currently run this country, I'm sure they're going to try to shit all over it. And because right now we don't really have any sports going on that Donald Trump cares about, I'm sure he's just waiting for this documentary to drop so he can try to take a shit on it. Like someone took a shit on his face in those photos that we saw the other day with his hair blown back.
Oh, yeah.
With the spray tan. Oh my God. This guy don't need to be commenting on shit, bro. If you look like that, you don't need to have a phone. You don't need to have a camera. You need to just go hide. You got enough money, go on a vacation and don't come back. I don't wish you harm, but you don't need to be in front of the public, fam. Like you look like a hot mess.
Yeah.
Looking like somebody's dusty ass auntie, like after their husband just left them. And now they're just drunk all the time at every family event. That's what Donald Trump looks like. He looks like he's stressed. He hasn't slept in a little bit. My guy, get some sleep.
Leave the looks to Melania.
Yeah, leave the looks to Melania. Yeah, exactly. Whatever her name is. Yeah, she's dusty too.
She did not sign up for this.
That's what I'm saying. That's why you can tell she's tired too, because she's tired of dealing with his crusty ass.
She thought she was just marrying a billionaire. She's like,
oh yeah, you want to talk about getting finessed? Think about how she feels.
I thought I just had to have like one kid with you, and now you want to make me.
She thought she was going to get billions of dollars, and it was going to be smooth sailing.
That's why she looks so mad all the time. Yeah. Not what she does not want to live in.
You have to slide up just a little bit because you can't hear me. Yeah, you can't hear you. But yeah, I feel bad for her because she got super finessed. And somehow she ended up living in the White House. She thought she was just going to be at Trump Towers her entire life. She ends up having to go to, where was that? She does not want to
be in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's not a place that you want to be. It's not her scene. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because you ever think, like, who does she talk to when she's in there? Like, who talks to her?
I don't know.
Because, like, everybody...
I can't imagine he's much good conversation.
Yeah, and you got to think, like, everybody works there as, like, a poli-sci major or some, like, military person. And what if she was, like, a model, right? Yeah. So, like, who does she have conversation with? Like, security? She's probably... She talks to the security team a lot. Maybe like the, I don't want to say the help because that'd be disrespectful. But I feel like if she's talking to people, she's talking to like Curtis, the janitor who works Thursday through Sunday at the west part of the building. Like she talks to Curtis and Gerald and Suzanne. Suzanne's in the back. She was once with HR, but then she got demoted. So now she's, she just works the gumball machines and stuff like that.
In the White House.
Yeah, Melania talks to people like that. She's not talking to General Colonel,
I don't know.
Somebody, whoever's high up, whoever got the most patches on the shirt. But anyway, yeah, so I think with the documentary coming out, if this is gonna start to uncover some things that maybe we didn't know or things that were overlooked, because I'm willing to bet that as the documentary unfolds, you're gonna end up saying to yourself on multiple occasions, wow, that's crazy. I can't believe that. This sounds like a setup. You know that that's gonna happen because Malcolm was being too loud. White people wanted to shut him up because nobody wants to hear that shit, especially when they start getting nervous that people are going to try to take over, and then he ended up dying behind it. Mm-hmm. And the same thing that happened to Martin Luther King. So any of these documentaries start dropping and people actually start coming forward with facts, people, especially white people, they are going to be forced to face the harsh reality that is their history, in which what they do is they overexert their power to shut people up and make sure that their voices never get heard. It's okay. We obviously know that people who are living now didn't, they didn't orchestrate that shit, but you have to stop being afraid to acknowledge what your people do. Mm-hmm. And once you get to that point where you can all acknowledge it, then we can start to move forward. Then we can get some of these bums out of here who are sitting behind the curtain pulling the strings on these things. And then it won't happen as much.
Yeah. Well, that would be the reasonable thing to do. But
Yeah. But a lot of these people are scared, man. I mean, who really wants to believe that they come from, or they're being represented by people who pull strings like that and get people killed to silence their voices? No one wants to know that they're a part of that shit. But it is what it is, man. I mean, honestly, there's black people who are hella garbage too in our past that it's well documented. We know about. But it is what it is. It's a part of it. You deal with it. You acknowledge it. You move forward. What can you do?
Yeah.
You do your best to make sure that you don't end up like that person. It's very simple.
Yeah.
But the fact that a lot of people won't acknowledge some of this stuff is what makes it to where we're still kicking and screaming, and we're going to be beating down the doors, and we're going to be, doing whatever it is we have to do to make sure that, for every one that you silence, we want 10 more to pop up screaming. That's what the hope is. But it could be very simple. We don't have to scream at y'all if you just start to sit back, hear the people out, acknowledge how they feel, and then allow everybody to move forward. Until that happens, you're going to continue to get what you get. And that's pushback, resistance, and battling. And you're going to have people who are going to want to go against you, and they're not going to believe you when you say that you want to fight for change. We're not going to believe that shit because it takes too fucking long. Yeah. Look how long it took the NFL to fucking get on board with all that shit. And they just finally, after the season is over now, they start finally putting out commercials and ads for, how they're supporting, the Players Coalition in regards to all their efforts that they're doing to fight against injustices and all that type of shit. You see how long it takes them. Like, we had a guy who ended up losing his entire career fighting for that stuff just for them to take almost 4 years to put a commercial out. And then almost want to take it down the second that a police department complained about it because they felt like the commercial with Anquan Bolden made the police force look weak. Like, why? Because you guys shot his brother, or you killed him, or you did something dirty and you got caught? Like, the NYPD or whoever it was, they feel some type of way and be like, nah, you guys are stupid. You got caught, man. Just own it. Don't try to reach out and say that the NFL's trying to make you look bad. No one's trying to make you look bad. You made yourself look bad by having officers who make bad decisions on the job. That's what made you look bad. Man, anyway, let me stop yelling. So, I hope that documentary is dope. Netflix is who is going to be hosting that. I'm sure Hulu will have something. Amazon will have something. Apple will have something. Because that's just what they all do. But it'll be interesting when it comes time to drop that.
When is it coming out?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know if it's set. Let me look and we can see. Let's see. I don't know. The thing I found was a video. I don't know. It's not actually saying it. Steph, do you know when that Malcolm X documentary is dropping?
No, I'm looking it up as well.
Shout out to Steph for always looking stuff up. I'm too slow, and I'm just not great at that part of the job. But anyway, while we wait on that, so we have Cheese here. Cheese works in the medical field. Like I said, not to diminish her role or anything, but I don't want people to be like, well, you had someone who works in the medical field and they don't know what they're saying. Listen, this person is not a doctor, okay? They tell them what you do, and then I'll jump into, and you don't have to give like full details. Just you let them know like what your job title is.
Yeah, I am a practice manager, so I oversee a clinic of about 8 doctors, a couple nurses, lots of clinical people, and then I'm, involved frequently in lots of stuff, meetings, all sorts of fun stuff. So I am not clinical, but I do have a master's degree in healthcare administration and public health. So
that's dope.
I know quite a bit, but I am not a doctor or a nurse, although I work very closely with them. The blood and guts freaks me out, so I can't do that part of it.
All right. Now, in this room, out of the two of us, who's the medical professional?
Me.
Okay.
100%.
So I have on the show a medical professional, and we're going to dive into this story because And Steph, I want you to chime in as well because we still have Steph on the phone. Both of you wonderful ladies, you both have children. So I will ask your thoughts on this. So we have a story where a 4-year-old ended up dying from the flu. And it says this happened after the mom ignored the advice from the doctors and she listened to her anti-vax Facebook group. And apparently there were people in the group that were just, telling her about more like natural remedies, fruits, berries, stay well hydrated, so on and so forth, telling her how her child could like get over this and kick it and all that good stuff. She has multiple kids, apparently multiple children in the house were sick. And I guess the child who died ended up being one of the younger ones. So she had another child who already had it, had dismissed the advice given by the doctor, continued to kind of just, go with what the group consensus was on Facebook. In the post, it said that a lot of the Facebook posts that like people were replying with comments and giving her advice, like they took it down once they recognized that the child had died based on the advice that they gave. So what I was wondering, as someone who doesn't know a lot about vaccines, is, and I don't want to just ask like, do you think it's worth it? Like, I don't want to just ask that because I think everybody's opinion, obviously they're gonna feel differently. I've seen how people will argue this to the point where it seems like it could come to blows because people feel that passionate. I'm somebody who kind of is just like, I don't really know. I don't have children. I'm also not an elderly person, and I hear that it impacts those two age groups the most. So a person who is in between there, someone like myself, like, yeah, I could get the shot. The shot could be very helpful, but it's not going to kill me if I don't get the shot. But I could probably still die from it if the flu gets out of hand and I don't take care of myself.
Correct. Gotcha.
Okay, so, and like I said, Steph, feel free to chime in at any time. But ladies, do we think, like, what should be my question?
What's your question?
Like, is yes or no, flu shot or not? I don't even know. I don't know how you ask
Flu
this.
shot or not? That's a complex question.
I stumped him. Yeah. That's what I did. I stumped him.
I'll always err on the side of yes for a lot of reasons, because of data, because of research, because CDC recommends it. And something I think is funny is that it's something that CDC recommends, but people don't want to do it yet. When CDC comes out and says don't eat romaine lettuce because there's whatever in it, everybody stops eating romaine lettuce, everybody freaks out about coronavirus. But then certain things we pick and choose whether we're going to listen to the CDC or about. So my thing is, I'm in the field. If CDC comes out and says you should do this, I listen to it. Point whatever, whether it's about romaine lettuce, whether it's about coronavirus, whether it's about the flu, whether it's about all your other vaccines, I listen to it because they have the most up-to-date data and research about it. The vaccine is not needed for every single person. Situations are different. Kids are more at risk because they're more immunocompromised. Older people are more at risk. Other people that have diseases, someone who has type 2 diabetes, someone who has cancer, someone who has anything that suppresses your immune system should absolutely get the flu shot. And there's tons of misconceptions because you can get the flu shot. We have to get it at work. And last year the flu was so crazy that all of my employees got it and 3 people came down with the flu. So it doesn't mean you won't get it. Usually what it means is that the strain you get and your body's ability to fight the flu is usually stronger if you get the flu shot. So it'll last a shorter amount of time. Like most of my people that were out last year were out for about 3 days, where other people, the flu will take them out for 2 weeks. So gotcha. Sometimes you can get the flu shot and still get the flu. Each year they come out with a strain of the flu shot that's basically their best guess off of what kind of flus were out last year, but then new strains come out. So the flu shot doesn't protect you against every single type of flu or severity of flu that comes out, but getting it at least gives your body a little bit additional immune support to help fight it. It doesn't always work. I'm sure the people who have gotten the flu shot have gotten sick and died from it, but more often than not, people who end up dying from it didn't get the flu shot. So to me, that's enough to do it. Plus my work makes me do it, or I have to wear a mask for 3 months.
Gotcha. That sounds awful. Steph, what do you think? Are you flu shot or not?
So I went years without getting the flu shot, and then when I finally did, I ended up getting sick, and so then I was thinking, well, why would I get it? And when I do get it, I get sick, and I've gone all these years and never had the vaccine, and then I've been fine. But on the other hand, for my children, I do make sure that they get it just because I know it's more dangerous for them than myself.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, I think most adults who have a fair immune system, that the flu is generally not going to kill them, or put them in the hospital or anything like that. But for kids and for elderly people, it can, and it can help fight it. And sometimes the flu shot does make people sick. I have a lot of people at my work that get sick after they take it, because it's essentially like it's giving your body a little bit of the flu so that you can fight it off. So some people do have a reaction to it and get sick from it. But I agree that for kids and old people, you should get it. I was much more stressed about my son getting the flu shot than I was myself.
Yeah, me too.
That makes sense. Like I said, being someone who doesn't have kids, I'm never in a rush to take someone to get a flu shot. I used to get vouchers to get free flu shots from my job. Never once used them. This year was the first year in probably like 15, maybe close to 20 years that I have been sick, like how I was sick the other day. That does not mean I'm rushing out to get a flu shot. If someone wants,
it's too late for you.
If they want to offer me the free one, I'll get it. I'm not paying for that shit though. But anyway, man, listen. Leave your feedback and comments. I know people feel very passionate about this topic.
So passionate.
Flu shot or not? What do you think? Now, back to the story. The story is extremely sad. There's a part of me, obviously my heart goes out to the mother. You hate for anyone to lose children. But I'm struggling to feel bad for her to some degree, but only because, why are you taking the advice of your Facebook group over your physician?
Yeah.
That don't make any sense to me, because unless all the people in your Facebook group are doctors, it's pointless for you to dismiss the information from the doctor and then go run to the internet. You went to what the equivalent of WebMD is. You went to a bunch of people who are not medically certified to give you any real feedback. Oh, sorry, I had to lean back to get comfortable. But you went to people who they probably don't have degrees. Like they're not doing anything that can really I don't know, man. It just doesn't seem worth it. Like I said, you're probably dealing with people who are it's like people like me. Like it'd be like if you have a major life decision, and you really want to call me to be like, yo, what should I do right now? And I'm basically just telling you, yo, do your thing, cuz that seems sketchy. You should want to take the advice from the professional rather than a person who probably doesn't give two shits about you.
Yeah.
I'm sure people were literally leaving comments based off the information they found on WebMD, which is a garbage website.
It'll have you think you're dying.
Yeah.
The second you go, I have a headache. Now you have a brain tumor.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? When I was sick, I looked at WebMD, and my symptoms pretty much told me that I had 8 hours to live. And that was 20 days ago. So I'm better than the internet. Don't just listen to bozos on the internet. Yeah. That shit don't always be helping you, bro.
I mean, those groups can be really persuasive though, and especially if you don't have a lot of information. If you don't have a good relationship with your doctor and don't trust your doctor, then they just become another person telling you something.
And maybe that's what it was. And I won't say Facebook groups from time to time. I mean, you see that on the Don't Fuck With Cats video, the impact that they can have. They can be beneficial. You had those people out there literally in a Facebook group solving crimes, but some of these groups can literally get you caught up and have you doing dumb shit. Like,
Mhm.
and I'm just gonna say, based on all the information that I've been given and the amount of actual medical professionals that I've talked to about this, at the very least, your children should get the shot. You as an adult, you make your choice.
Yeah.
Because you have the opportunity to prevent it. Now, if you are already in a serious state where you are sick and have, multiple diagnoses, maybe a flu shot is in your best interest. But at the same time, like I said, for you as an adult, do your own thing.
Yeah.
But for your kids, or if you're a caretaker of any kind and you have you're taking care of a mom or a dad, get them the shot, man.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't gonna hurt them.
Well, I mean, vaccines on a whole have essentially eradicated so many diseases until years ago people started to get on this whole anti-vax movement, and then now you see all of a sudden measles pops back up, other shit is popping back up that was essentially gone because of vaccines, because people were getting them regularly. And so people feel very, very strongly about not getting them, but it's frustrating as someone who has a small child, because if someone else decides not to vaccinate their child, then for a period of time they can put my kid at risk.
Yeah, that's
I think polio recently, I think CDC or World Health Organization recently came out and said that polio is essentially eradicated, and they weren't I think they weren't going to supply the polio vaccine anymore because there had been they had met the threshold for it essentially being gone. And that's because people for years and years vaccinated against it. Nobody got it. Nobody passed it to anybody. And now it's gone. It's a thing that isn't anymore. And that's because of vaccines. So that's never going to happen with the flu because it recreates itself every year. But it still is helpful. I mean, it's done so many good things. But people feel really strongly about it not to do it. So.
Yeah, I'm not a huge like I said, my vaccine knowledge is very minimum. I'm only on the stance of for the safety of the kids, and then you guys know the schools are now giving parents a hard time. Just get it done. You don't want to be in a situation where they're telling you that your kid can't go to school because you're refusing just to take them to the doctor to get them a few shots. Just get it done. Like I said, you as an adult, don't let a motherfucker on earth tell you what to do. You do what you want to do. You don't want to get those vaccines, don't get them, because I'm not getting them. But you know what?
You already got most of them.
Nah, fam, I don't have none of them. I have some of them, obviously.
I'm sure you got most of them.
But I ain't had them in a minute. So what I'm saying is, excuse me, you want to make that choice for yourself as an adult, do your thing. But like I said, get it done for your kids, because they're gonna give you a hard time about it at school, and then you're gonna end up. You don't want to be the parent at the PTA meeting that everybody's like, "Yo, fuck you," because you don't want to vaccinate your kid. You don't want to put yourself in
Nobody's
that.
inviting little Johnny
That's what I'm
over
saying.
for
Then
their
your
party.
kid's not getting invited to birthdays, and it's gonna be a whole thing. And that's all because parents are petty like that. Because they're gonna try to justify it by saying, "Well, I don't want their kid over here. They're gonna end up getting my kid sick, have the whole party sick." But deep down, they're really not letting your kid come to the party because they don't like you, because they don't like you as the parent, because they know you didn't take your child to get vaccinated. Don't be that parent. Save your kid a lifetime of stress and grief at school, and just get them the shot, man. Or don't. I don't know. Do what you want to do.
We're seeing an uptick of kids that are now adults and they're 18 and they're coming in to get vaccinated because their parents never vaccinated them.
Well, I'm not doing no shit like that, but
you were
good.
Probably
good
vaccinated as a child.
Good for those kids who are going out of their way to, go get their vaccinations done and all set up and all that good stuff. Anyway, so our next thing is, well, as of this afternoon, because I still can't believe that it's real, but now it's real. In a private ceremony this afternoon, Kobe and Gigi were laid to rest. R.I.P. Kobe, R.I.P. Gigi, R.I.P. to all the other victims on the helicopter. It's such an unfortunate situation. We talked earlier in the show about dusty ass Gayle King and dusty ass Oprah. I'm calling them dusty because they just messed up, man. You gotta get what's coming to you, which is me calling you dusty for doing the wrong thing in regards to Kobe. Obviously, I'm Team Kobe. It's definitely sad. Still doesn't feel real, but like I said, as of today in a private ceremony, Kobe was laid to rest. So, R.I.P. Kobe. Damn, that's my guy. But anyway, man, listen, we have new people coming to Track Talk Radio with shows. Now I want to actually go to their pages because I want to make sure that I say their names right and do all these things. It's been a crazy day. So listen, we got the Nonstop Radio Show is one. Welcome to Track Talk Radio, fam. And then we have, who else was it? Because they added me today. I'm sorry, you're going to have to get used to it. Your man Michael Jackson is bad with remembering names. I talk to way too many people every day. The Morning Boom. Welcome to the team. It's Track Talk Radio, man. And shout out to Sherry. Sherry is low-key killing it. You know what's crazy? These are just the new shows that I know about today. Knowing how hard she works, she probably has 15 other new shows lined up, ready to go. Probably ready to replace me. Sherry, just give me 30 days. I need 30 days notice. Don't evict me yet. If the show's getting too wild, too out of hand, I'm being too disrespectful, send me a letter. Send me a letter before you evict me. We still got Steph on the phone. Shout out to Steph. Still didn't get back to me about that Malcolm X documentary. Thanks.
I think it's already out from what I've seen.
Okay, sounds like Malcolm X documentary is already out.
Oh, shit.
So we might have to check that out, man. Anyway, what else we got? So I want to talk about Chris Brown real quick. Shout out to Chris. Don't worry, Chris is not in any danger. I don't feel like he's definitely made a bad decision, but he's not hurt. No one else has been hurt.
What do you do?
But Chris Brown today had a post where he had a Jordan 3 tattooed on the side of his face. So a Jordan shoe just tattooed on the side of his face. I was telling somebody this the other day because somebody said to me, sorry, I'm trying to change this. Somebody said to me, wow, why do rich people do stuff like this? And my response is always this. It's because niggas are bored. Rich people don't have the same type of hobbies that broke civilians like me have. Chris can't just go hoop, or he can't just go to the craft store. You know, he can't just go to TJ Maxx. Like, life is different for Chris. So when Chris gets bored, he gets a tattoo on his face of a Jordan, a shoe. Literally, there's a shoe
on his face.
On the side of his face. Steph, have you seen this?
Yeah, I sent it to you, and you said,
Oh, yeah.
I said, who does this? And you said rich people who are bored.
I told you, man, that's always been my thing. Like, you can tell that these people get crazy bored because this is the stuff that they do. Shout out to Chris Brown, man. He's still making pretty good music, but fam, the money must be long.
Yeah.
And he must know it because you only do that if you know you're in no danger of ever being broke.
Yeah, you're never going to need to go to a job interview.
Yeah, Chris will never go to a job interview in his life.
No, he's good. He must have just hit that number on his bank account and he's like, yep,
yeah, tattoo on the face. This signifies it.
Yep, I'm never going to have to go to another job interview.
Yeah.
It's good.
So now when people go, Chris, how rich are you? All he does is turn to the side and point at his cheek.
Rich.
I'm this rich, nigga. Tattoo on my face of a Jordan shoe. I'm getting money.
Not even tattoo on my face. Tattoo on my face of a shoe.
Yeah. God. And it was good artwork too.
I hope so.
It looked exactly like. I mean, obviously, I can't imagine that Chris has a bum ass tattoo artist. Anybody he has is probably a tattoo artist for the stars or somebody that's really, really good. But it was a good tattoo. I was kind of impressed. Steph, what did you think?
It's ugly.
Damn, you're not a fan of Chris Brown's new tattoo, huh?
No, it looks ridiculous. I'm just like, why? Why? Why would you want to put a shoe on your cheek?
I've never understood the fascination of having a tattoo on your face, period. I know some people like it, and it doesn't look bad on a lot of people. There are some people I'm like, oh, okay, that's a dope tattoo you got on your face. But then I'm still wondering, like, why does a nigga have a tattoo on his face? Or you see the one, so after Kobe passed away, there was a guy who literally got a helicopter tattooed on his face, purple and yellow.
I didn't see that one.
He just has a purple and yellow helicopter tattooed on his face.
Why would you get a helicopter?
Well, he got it to represent Kobe.
But that's horrible.
Well, yeah, it's horrible because even though Kobe's passed away, R.I.P., his family's still rich. Buddy who got the helicopter tattoo probably ain't rich like Kobe was. So,
And,
what was the point?
Why are you memorializing the helicopter?
Yeah,
Like, that's...
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
Why are we celebrating the helicopter?
Yeah.
Like, we don't want to remember the helicopter.
Exactly. The helicopter is the whole cause for our suffering.
This is the problem.
No,
like, we're not...
we don't like the helicopter,
No.
my guy. Yeah, I don't know what he was doing. So one of the things that, and I know, I like to think that Kobe doesn't mind that we're laughing at some of these things. But there are a lot of memes where people are like saying they're doing stuff like in Kobe's honor, like based on his number. And like one of the funny ones I saw is like when there was a guy who goes, I just scored 24 out of 100 on a test, in honor of Kobe Bryant. It's like, fam, 24 out of 100 is not good.
We're not good.
Or like I saw one today where, God, what did it say? I gotta find it because it was funny. But it said something like, just did 24 girls wrong on it for Kobe Bryant. Someone said, nah, fam, that's for Magic Johnson. I was dead. Oh my gosh. But anyway, so now we're done being nasty on the show. All right, I got to get into my biggest complaint of the week. Now, this is going to take about 5 solid minutes, so everybody get comfortable. This year, so I've used TurboTax for the last 9 years. And you know how I know it was 9? Because when I opened up my computer yesterday and I logged in, that shit said, welcome back, Nick. You've been with us for 9 years. I didn't really like that. Already from jump, I feel like I'm being disrespected. Because I know they're about to swindle me somehow. I already know it. I go to start filing the taxes. And things are looking great. At one point, it was like, yo, you're about to get about 2 racks back. But I wanted to get excited. But I knew deep down, I was like, it's not real. There's no way it's real. Why would the government give my dusty ass $2,000 of my own money back? Why would they do that? They wouldn't.
Yeah, they're not that cool.
Trick question. They wouldn't. They're not that cool. They're not that nice. By the end of it, I actually end up owing $1,900. And then was kind of got lucky, and they were like, you know what? Based on an eligible deduction, we'll take $300 off. So that was cool. But who the fuck trying to pay the government $1,600?
You already paid them so much money this year.
I already gave y'all money. Money that I didn't need to give you. Because you didn't work for the money, I worked. Or hardly worked for the money. I went to work to get the money. And then you took the money. And now you want to take more money. I try not to be super disrespectful. I want to lead off by saying that this next part is a joke. But I do sometimes walk around feeling like this is the shittiest country on this fucking planet. Because for some reason, they're always shouting at us like, this is a great place. Home of the free, land of the brave. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. Niggas are free to some extent. We have a lot of brave people out here. Shout out to our military. Always protecting us, allowing me to go to the job to get to the money. I appreciate that. But then, the government always comes to collect. As if they don't have enough. And why am I hearing rumors that Jeff Bezos doesn't pay a cent, and he has the same amount of money that like 75% of the world has? Why is he not paying money?
Because you have a Republican in office.
So I don't know nothing about the political side of that, but I'm gonna say this, Jeff, if I ever see your shiny headed ass walking up and down the street, I'm running your fade. And I'm going to take the $1,600 that I owe the government out of your pocket. You can afford it. $1,600 is like $10
That's
to
not
you.
shit. Yeah, that's not even $10 to him.
That's $5 to you.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
Some quarters.
Jeff, if you hear this show, fam, I need $1,600 for laundry money. Go ahead and send me that. And you can send it in all quarters if you'd like. I'm going to go to the bank and I'm going to get them to put it into the bills. And I'm going to send it to the IRS so I can get these... whatever this is paid off. I don't understand. How do I owe money? I don't understand that. Y'all took money all year. Why do you need more money?
They didn't take enough.
Steph, you owe money or you getting paid money?
I've owed money since 2015, so I wait till April to file my taxes. I wait till the last day.
Fans wait until the last day. That's not in me. I can't do that. I'll feel stressed. And then if I would have found out on April 15th at 8:30 in the morning that I owed this money, I'll be mad as shit.
I already know I'm gonna owe, so I just wait.
Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know I was gonna owe. This is the first time ever. They literally had the money at the top. It was saying I was gonna get like $2,000 back. I almost was already booking a flight to Vegas when I saw that shit. And now, even if I want to go, I gotta fly Spirit because I can't afford to fly on a good airline because I owe the $1,600.
Don't fly Spirit.
I got you. My aunt's a flight attendant. We can do the buddy passes.
Oh
It's all
my
done.
gosh. That's right. Oh my gosh. And I know your aunt too. Wait, is that the same one I sold the shoes to?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Oh, bet. Yeah. We're going to have to reach out to her. Flights to Vegas. It better not be Spirit. United. Holla at me if you see me on a United flight back in economy class, probably sitting at 42D. That always happens to me, man. I'm 6'4", and for some strange reason, even when I request that I get an emergency exit seat, they always have me sitting way in the back, tucked in the corner. You know what? If I end up, my next flight, if I end up in the back, I'm going to cause a scene. I'm not dealing with it no more. Because I see the way people be looking at me. When I get on and if you're watching this video on the YouTube, I'm demonstrating right now how I have to walk on planes. And my neck is like broke because I'm literally cocked to the side like a snapback. You know how niggas wear the snapback and it's like back and to the side? So my head is like back and to the side. Anyway, I don't like that, man. And they look at me funny and they still make me sit in that janky ass seat. And there's always people that can switch with you.
Oh, well, why
But
would
do
they?
Well, why exactly? So on my last flight, right? Where did I go last time? This is when I went to Texas to go visit my mom. Get on the flight. Everybody gets in their seat. The person sitting at the emergency exit that had the most room, and I'm not exaggerating you. I shit you not. I'm gonna give you this lady's stats. It's a range because I don't have exact numbers. I didn't get my measuring tape out or no shit like that.
But if the police asked you to give a description,
But yes,
this would be it.
If the police asked me to give a description, this would be it. Yeah, yes, officer. This lady was about 5'2" She probably weighed about 97 pounds. She had medium to long brown hair, brown eyes, and one arm.
She had one arm?
She had one arm.
How is she gonna open up the...
So that's my point. She still got to sit there because no one had the heart to ask her to move. Now, let me rephrase.
I would, in an emergency, I need the best crew up there.
Her arm wasn't off. Her arm was just in a sling. She was injured. But she still technically is a one-armed man because they asked the people who were sitting there if they're willing to save lives. When the lady asked if she would, this lady's so confident about this plane not going down that she knew she couldn't help, and she still said yes. That way the person wouldn't ask her to move. And that pissed me off because I was in 42D, cramped the fuck up, and the person in front of me kept leaning back on the seat and like they're bucking a freaking Bronco. Like it's a fucking, you know when you see people and they're doing those competitions, like rodeo. Motherfucker was thinking it was a damn rodeo thing. And he kept rocking, the seat was hitting my knees and shit. Oh my, I never wanted to slap a 5-year-old so bad in my life.
Oh my God, a 5-year-old.
It's the whole flight, man. For Texas to hear, that's not a short
Slap their parent,
trip.
not the 5-year-old.
I was gonna slap them too. I was gonna slap everybody in that row because they knew my knees were hurting. Oh my God. And then you know when the plane land, it's the same thing like in traffic. When the light turn green, but niggas just sit there. Yeah. I'm the type that hit the horn. So when I'm in 42D and the plane is landed and you see people who are just taking their sweet ass time to get up out of their seat and get their dusty ass fake Gucci bag out and get off the damn plane, to all you people that take your sweet ass time, fam, I'm here to tell you. I'm in 42D.
So, you know,
I'm in the same seat as at the time was my waistline, fam. That's how fat I was in that damn seat. And my legs was hurting, my knees were hurting. It took y'all forever to get off that plane. I wanted to fight every single one of y'all, including that 5-year-old.
In Italy, people are ruthless. They just get up and like dart. Like they warn you, like you need to just like get up and prepare yourself. And then when you get to the baggage claim, they like you would fit in really well there. Because there is no like social norms. Like they'll fight and like elbow you to get to the front of the plane and to get to their bags. It's crazy.
Yeah, see, and that's the type of shit that I want to be on. But I know based on my size, weight, and skin color, if I start pushing through the crowd, all it takes is one lonely little white girl to start screaming, and then the whole place will be shut down. And then I'll be, in the back getting strip searched and all this, and they're gonna think that I'm trying to do some wild shit. Like, I try to avoid that. So I keep my headphones on, I don't say nothing. But if you ever see me on a plane and you're like, yo, why is he sweating? It's because I'm trying to control the anger that I feel inside because of how long it's taking people to get the fuck off the plane. I'm not sweating because of fear. Half of the sweat was probably, even when it hit the top of the forehead, it's probably from fear. By the time it hit my eyebrows, it's because I was mad. I don't be sweating a lot, but I do sweat sometimes on the plane because I do get a little bit nervous. I still get scared when the plane goes up. One time I was sitting next to this dude, and that's when I was heading to LA. It's the LA. I was leaving from Orlando, Florida, Orlando to LA, long flight, and I had not flown. It had been a minute since I flown at that time. This is back in 2009. As soon as the plane take off, I was scared, all right? I'm telling you I was scared, so you don't think it's weird. I grabbed Buddy's thigh. I'm like, oh! And my man kind of freaked out. And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm just kind of scared. I ain't flown in a while. I didn't know what to do.
Did he hold your hand?
And no, he didn't hold my damn hand. But he made me feel comfortable because he didn't freak out, he didn't get mad. We had a good laugh about it. And then we talked the whole flight. He was a good dude. I can't remember what he did for work, but he was telling me all kind of wild stories. But man, I wish I could remember your name, my guy. But if you were on that flight from Orlando to LA back in 2009 and you sat next to a tall, sweaty black dude that grabbed your thigh and you see this show, I want to say I appreciate you for making me feel comfortable, because I low-key was scared as shit. Because the pilot, he didn't sound confident when, you know, when they come over the intercom and they say, oh, thank you for being on this flight. We're going to be here and da-da-da-da-da. Buddy was talking as if like someone was giving him the directions, and he like it was his first fucking day, and that made me nervous, because I'm like, bro, this is my first day, like, and I don't know anything, and if you don't know anything, and you're the one control, yeah, exactly, I trust you, so I was scared as hell, but yo, shout out to my man, like I said, for making, not my man, pause. But my guy on the plane who helped.
He was your man after you grabbed his thigh.
Exactly. After I grabbed his thigh, yeah, he probably was like, yo, my man's he's real nice and he looks good. No, I didn't look good in 2009. No genders were attracted to me back then. That's a different conversation for a different day. Fam was ugly as shit in 2009. It's okay. This was a face that only my mother can love. And even back in 2009, I don't know if Vondi was really fooling with me like that. It's probably like, I don't really want to claim this ugly nigga. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, shout out to my guy for, you know, making me feel more comfortable. There are people that you fly next to and you don't realize they really are struggling. And some of these people really go outside of their comfort zone to try to make these flights happen, because it is an easy way to travel when you have to go far distances. So if you are braving and conquering your fears by getting on those planes, shout out to you. That is not an easy thing to do. And even as an adult, I sometimes get a little bit nervous to fly by myself, because I'm always afraid that I'm going to lose my ticket or forget a bag, or I'm going to go to the wrong gate, or something's going to happen. And I always end up safe and get everything handled. But there are some people that panic. But then there's also times where I see like little kids flying like it's cake. And I'd be mad, because I'm like, yo, I'm a grown-ass man probably about to go in the bathroom and shed a couple tears. And then this like 13-year-old, this is like his 10th flight this month. Like they're just, this is easy work to them. So, you know, shout out to them too for being so comfortable. That's just not my steez. So, Steph, when's the last time you flew on a plane, and how does flying on a plane make you feel?
It terrifies me. I hate flying, and I get so scared taking off and landing.
Oh, I'm telling you, it's real.
And I too get worried that I'm gonna be late or I'm gonna lose something. So I do like the pre-check-in, and I'm there like hours early.
Yeah.
Fans, I'm 3 hours.
No, people say that 2 hours. I missed a flight to Vegas, and we got there an hour and 45 minutes before our flight. So like we were like, okay, it's close to 2 hours, we'll find. Missed it. They were closing the doors and we were running up to it. It was the most stressed I've ever been in my entire life. And then we had to sit in the airport for 6.5 hours until the next flight.
Shit. Nah,
terrible.
I'd have took my ass home. I'm not gonna sit at the airport. I mean, can you go home, or you have to stay in there?
I mean, it's like an hour home. So by the time you like convince someone who loves you enough to come back to the airport to pick you up, to drive you back, and we already gone through security and shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Terrible.
You might as well just stay there at that point.
Yeah, I drank a lot.
Yeah, I probably would have too if I was sitting at the airport for 6 hours. I think the longest layover I've ever had was 3 hours, maybe. And I felt like I was bored out of my mind.
Yeah, I don't like
That shit
flying.
sucked.
It's weird though, like what you say about kids. Like when I fly with my son, I am less scared because he's just like thinks it's the coolest shit ever. He's like, we're going in the sky. Like he's just so excited. So then I'm like, all right, well, I mean, there's no reason a grown adult needs to be more scared than a little child, but
Your son's a psycho. That's why.
all the kids are like
all the kids who just are like that excited.
Yeah.
Nah, you guys are psychos.
They get little wings, and like everybody makes them feel excited. Like, why do we stop making adults feel that excited? Like, why don't I get the little wings anymore? You know like
why?
I'm scared.
It's hard to make an adult feel excited because most adults are realists, and so they know like this thing can malfunction.
But then we should also know that it's
can...
more dangerous to drive your car every day than it is to get in a plane. But it's just so much more scary to be in a plane. Like, we know the stats are there. Like, you are more likely to die in a car accident than you are to die in a plane accident. But it's just so frightening.
Yeah, but
I just prefer to be on the ground.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
claustrophobic. Like as soon as it gets like bumpy and I realize that like I can't get out and I don't have control, like I'd like
That's
to
what I
just
was
go
about to
fly
say.
the plane.
It's
That would
just-
make me feel better.
Exactly. Like it's the not having control
None.
thing is when you like I don't really like being a passenger in people's vehicles.
Me either.
Because niggas can't drive. And I don't like how people cut it real close. Like if you ride with me, I treat it as like the person who's a passenger. Like that's precious cargo. I gotta make sure you get back to your friends, your family, whoever you have to report back to. I gotta get you back to them safely. Sometimes I feel like when I ride in the car with people, I think people be like, "Yo, this nigga's not shit. I'm just gonna drive how I want to drive," and they don't treat me as if I'm precious cargo. So I just drive my own car everywhere. Problem is, again, I'm 6'4", so being in the car for long periods of time is tough. So it means if I want to go anywhere far, I have to fly, and I hate it. Mainly because I can't fly the damn plane. Now, if I could fly the plane, I feel much more comfortable. I could be up there all day hanging out if I had control. Because I trust myself, and I feel like if as long as I channel and redirect all my Fast and the Furious energy, and
To a plane.
yeah, I feel like if you use Vin Diesel technology and you use what you've learned on those Fast and the Furious movies, it all can apply. When you cut the grass, you can, riding lawnmower. If it has something to steer it, you should be able to use Vin Diesel logic to operate that type of machinery, and you can get anywhere you need to go as safely as possible. I'm telling you, haven't been in an accident yet because I use my Fast and the Furious training on a daily.
Training.
I don't know what to tell y'all, but I was not watching those movies for no reason. It's training purposes. They're training DVDs. Why else would there be so many of them? It's tutorials, basically. Those are not good movies. It's informational.
Jesus.
But yeah, it makes me nervous. But you know what? It made me think, like, maybe I should get a pilot's license. But then I also thought, like, who the fuck really has time for that?
No. My cousin is an pilot in the Air Force. And so, like, this is the dumbest thing ever, but when I get really stressed about flying, like, I just pretend that he's flying the plane. It makes me feel better. I don't know why. Plus, also, I just went to my doctor, and they gave me anxiety medicine, so that helps a lot.
Yeah. So, I don't have either of those things. I don't have a cousin who's worthy of flying a plane. No disrespect to any of my cousins. Ladies, shout out to you. But no one, to the best of my knowledge, has any type of training to allow them to fly a plane. And I haven't been on the med, so I feel like I'll probably still be sweating. Just remember that the sweat on the top of my forehead is panic about the plane. The sweat just barely above my eyebrows is the fact that I'm pissed off that people are in the damn wet. Or the bathroom takes too fucking long. I never know when's a good time to use the bathroom on a plane.
I hate using the bathroom on the plane.
I hate it, man.
I always think I'm going to get sucked in.
I already know that I'm too big to get sucked in.
I know.
I'm not a big enough piece of poop to get sucked in. You know what I'm saying? No, that's not happening to me. But I just don't like the fact that it's just so small. Like, they need to make it to where people who are big can fit comfortably on the plane. Like, on days that I know I have to fly, I'm always up at in between 3:30 and 4 in the morning, right? And if I have to fly anywhere, it's guarantees that I don't get to eat until I get to my destination. Because if I eat, there's a chance that I might have to go to the bathroom. And on the plane, I can't afford for that to happen. Because I'm too damn big to be in the bathroom. And I know if I go to the bathroom on that thing, then we're going to end up having to probably do an emergency landing somewhere. So I don't like not being able to eat during the course of the day. So flying is not ideal. If you're trying to book me for a show out of state, send a tour bus and a driver and gas money. That's the only way I'm coming. Pay me before the show.
I'm gonna tell my boss that because I have to travel for work. So I'm gonna go ahead and let her know. I'm gonna need a bus.
Yeah, you should. Be like, look, if you want to book me for this work conference, then you got to send a driver in the tour bus. I know it's work and it's a part of my job duties, but flying is not in the job description.
Well, in my last flight, so I had to go there for my first day back in October, and they put me in the middle seat, and I'm not a small girl, and I was in between two guys that had to be 300 plus pounds, maybe 4, I don't know.
Damn.
So we're all just like literally just crammed in this row, and then the guy diagonal from me is watching this movie, and I forget what movie it is, and the plane is just bursting into pieces, and everybody's like going down. And I'm like,
Jesus, that's what you're watching. Like,
right now.
Yo, fam's like on there watching Final Destination or something like that.
Those types of movies should be like banned on an airplane.
Yeah,
Like, you should not be able to even pull that up.
Yeah, exactly. And for an in-flight movie, Final Destination 2.
Where everybody dies in a plane crash.
Yeah. Oh no, the plane crash was the first one.
But we'll be coming around with your peanuts soon, so hang tight.
Yo, that's wild. Yo, you know what's crazy? I'm always praying that I don't get a middle seat because I don't ever want to be stuck between two people who.
It was awful.
Yeah, because you know what? Like, usually when you get stuck behind two nasty people that are snorting and farting the whole flight, like, that just make it makes it to where you never want to fly again. But the problem is like, if anywhere you need to go that's further than, like, you know, a handful of hours, like, you have to fly. It's cheaper in most cases. I mean, depending on where you go, and it's just easier. But I don't know, man. Damn, do I want to fly? Like, my dream vacation is the Maldives. How the fuck am I getting there?
I mean, usually when you fly internationally, they're much bigger planes, at least to get there. Like, when I flew to London, I was scared shitless because I did not want to be in a plane that long. But it was roomy. Plus, you can choose different
roomy
areas.
Roomy for you or roomy for 6'4", 235 pounds?
You're right. Roomy for me, but it also would have been roomy for you because I was sitting next to a very tall, large man. And you get to choose your seat so you can sit in an area that has way more leg room. Like, I went like this and couldn't touch the wall in front of me.
Oh, you was living it up then. Okay, yeah. See, I've never been cool enough to have a seat that had leg room. I'm usually, if you can see me on the video right now, I usually have to sit just like this on a plane the entire time I'm flying. So knees up. You know when you're a little kid and they used to teach you like what to do, like in like a tornado drill, or you know how you like get huddled up against the wall and you're supposed to like tuck yourself in.
You're just ready then.
Yeah, I basically get to sit like that the whole time.
Yeah.
And the only difference between all of those flights and Spirit Airlines is that if I flew Spirit, I had to sit like that with my parachute on my back. Just in case the plane
Spirit's
go down,
even closer.
and you have to jump out or some shit like that. And you have to provide your own parachute. They don't give you the parachute. That's how janky Spirit is.
No, they charge you for the parachute.
Steph, try to get us a deal with Spirit Airlines. I know I was just disrespecting them, but if they need a spokesperson to tell some jokes, tell them I got them. I just need free flights and they need to cover the cost of my parachute.
All right.
All right, bet. Good looking out. Man, you know what? I think we went through everything today. I mean, there's some IG articles that I wanted to get into. But again, big shout outs to all the new additions to Track Talk Radio. Welcome. Let me know how I can support your efforts. We have a good show that's been running, but there were people on this network well before I got here. They showed me a lot of love, so I want to show you guys a lot of love, man. I hope, obviously, I know how Sherry gets down as far as, you know, making everybody feel welcome and giving us all a lot of freedom to be our true selves and, you know, create and you know, make the most of our opportunities. I'm sure you guys are going to kill it with your respective shows. So again, welcome. Shout out to Sherry. Great job. I mean, you're growing your brand and you're following every day, and it's helping the rest of us out. So again, shout out to the Morning Boom. And then who else we got? What is it, my man? I'm sorry, man. You gotta give me a second, man. I gotta get used to saying all these new names and stuff. But the Nonstop Radio Show, I'm gonna remember that. Nonstop Radio shouldn't be hard to forget. Track Talk Radio is gonna start killing it. We're on our way to being like the next great radio station. So if you have an upcoming project, I'm talking to all the listeners. If you guys have dreams of being a podcaster, an entertainer of some sort, and you think you're good enough to be on Track Talk Radio, reach out to Sherry, and she'll see what she can do for you. You just can't be on Tuesdays or Thursdays from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because that's when the best show on the station is on, and that's the Michael Jackson Show. So, without further ado, we're going to get back into the music, and that's how we're going to close out tonight. Cheese, thank you for joining us. It's always good to have you on the show. I'm sure people are going to give a lot of feedback. They're probably going to cuss you out and call you names about the vaccination situation.
Yeah,
but hey,
fine.
that it is what it is. They're going to call me names too. Shout out to James. Shout out to Badar. Stay up, homie. Shout out to his pops. Hope everything is well. Let us know if you need anything. Steph, of course, big shout out to you for all the ways that you contribute to the show, and the fact that you are now also a host. Even though you were not here, you were still on the phone call. So, we handle business like usual. Great job with everything today. And man, shout out to all the listeners, everybody that was tuned in. Really appreciate it. And hey, it's only Tuesday, so we will be back again this Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, live on Track Talk Radio, man. Dang, who's up next? Who knows? I don't know, but man, y'all need to tune in to the Nonstop Radio Show. They come on at 9, and then they're going to have a show on Track Talk Radio. The Morning Boom is on. I got to get these times right. I need Sherry to send me all the information so I can give them proper shout outs. Today was kind of just like a what's up, what's happening type of thing. But I'm going to start repping these shows real hard. We're going to get all the info. We might even, if they got show topics that they want us to drop to get people excited, we will do that on our show. Because like I said, we're just people helping people. So if you like my show, I hope you will end up liking their shows. Sherry loved it. She sent it to me this morning, so I was able to listen to a few minutes of the Morning Boom. I'm going to check out the Nonstop Radio Show, and we're going to see how lit it is, man. We got to get these people on the Michael Jackson Show. But either way, welcome to Track Talk Radio. Welcome all the new listeners. Again, shout out to Sherry. Shout out to my team. We're going to be back on Thursday, 7 p.m. Cheese, it's been real. We'll see you on the next show. We're about to close out with some new edition, Hot Tonight. It's not even really an old school record. I mean, it is kind of old school, but it's new edition from like the 2000s. So don't think that it was that old stuff. It's just semi-old. But anyways, man, it's the Michael Jackson Show, and I'm out. I'll see you guys on Thursday. All right, man. The show is done. So we're going to turn this off. Steph, it's been real. I'll hit you up in a second.
All right. You guys have a good night.
Later.
Bye.
I'll just hang up on folks.
God.
Irish goodbye even on the phone. All right, man. Show's over.